and we're on the downslide of this thing. People think that Trump is going to renew this place and make America great again. Listen, the last time America was great was when we were in chains.
That's right. He knows.
That's when you were the richest nation on the earth.
Full power.
Full power, full control of your destiny. John, you could have came here.
After World War II.
You could have. I would agree. I would say, listen. I would say from when my ancestors were in chains all the way up to World War II. No, listen. What I'm saying is the time period in which America was its greatest was from the time period of the American slave trade and then World War, shortly after World War.
Has said that they are nothing, but like unto spittle.
Be like spit, so the Gentiles are like spit to the Most High God. Right. How you doing, sir? You believe in God? How would you feel if God called you spit? How would you feel about that? Read it again. I'm gonna show you.
As for the other people which also come of Adam.
What'd you say? You got the apocrypha? Okay, watch this.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop of that falleth from a vessel.
So God is saying like the people that comes from Adam, right? The other people are like spit. That's what God is saying about if you're not an Israelite. How you feel about that? It's sad, or is it good news, bad news?
Sounds like you're talking about
the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay, is this Bible the Jews' book?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, so whose book is this?
I don't know, it's not mine.
Who is it talking? Okay, in this story, right? Who is it talking about? What is Jesus? You believe in Jesus Christ? He don't want to be on camera. No, you don't have to get on. So you don't believe in Jesus Christ?
Not as presented.
How do you believe in him then? Like, how else can you believe in Jesus Christ if you don't learn him from the Bible?
I'm not convinced that he actually existed as,
okay.
As a being, and he did all the things that they said.
Are you an atheist? You believe in God?
I believe in a sense.
Okay. Do you believe in the Bible?
I don't believe it's the inerrant word of God and that kind of thing.
Okay, so can you teach me about your God for a second? You can't? So how is he real?
I can tell you what I believe.
Okay. Tell me that.
I believe we all have consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And, we are, like, part of us is in this world, part of us is not in this world.
So like you believe that
we have collectively consciousness in this world. We're all individuals.
Okay.
And we have that expression of our consciousness, and then outside of this world, we have sort of a greater consciousness.
Is there
All that, maybe collectively is kind of
okay, is there a source of the power that which we come from?
Probably.
And that source of the power which we come from, you would call that God, right?
You could call it that. I don't call it that.
You would call it a power, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure how. I'm not sure it's like an objective, like an entity with like its own agenda and all that kind of thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you believe in justice? Okay, so when the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans got to America, right? Did any justice was served for that? For what happened to them? Give me that, prepare slaughter for his children. Iniquities. You got a precept too?
Yeah, I got a precept.
Yeah.
What's up to?
Okay, because if you have a God, my next question for you would have been, is your God gonna show justice for people on earth? That would be my next question.
My observation has been that the earth operates on the
So there's no justice, you're saying?
Oh, I believe in it, but we have to. It's up to us. It's not up to anyone.
So what should happen for the enslavement of the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans with your belief system?
My belief system doesn't say anything about that.
Say that again?
My belief system doesn't say anything.
So you don't have, in your belief system, you don't have a right and wrong.
I don't have a religious belief system like you're saying.
Okay, so how do you determine what's right and wrong?
What's your moral compass?
Yeah, your moral compass.
Yeah, it's based on my internal.
Your eternal self. So you're more. So is it wrong to kill?
It's wrong to murder.
Okay. So what makes it wrong to murder then? What makes that wrong?
For me, well, it's because.
I'm gonna tell you what my God says about murdering. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So hold up. So the God that we believe in says that we need to prepare slaughter for his children for the sins of their fathers. So what your father has done to us, our God is telling us that you're going to pay for it. So how you feel about that? Are you shocked? Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So
the guy that you said that you don't believe in, right? He's going to put those people into captivity who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So even though you don't believe in this person, he still had to come back and do this to you.
Why are you guys doing all these Jewish slurs?
Wait, hold up. We're trying to stick to one topic. We were talking about the judgment. So when I was asking you about judgment, do you agree with God's judgment? No, right? So that would make you an unbeliever. You don't believe in God.
Well, I don't believe in what you say.
So you're okay. Come on, go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn.
So this is the day of vengeance for our God. So the God that we believe in actually is going to repay y'all back for what y'all done to us. And that's what we're hoping for.
What about the Africans that...
They're going to get paid back too. The Africans that sold the Israelites are going to get paid back too. Yeah, we would be the real Israelites according to the Bible. That's the only reason why you were able to even put us into slavery. That would make the logical sense. Why would the weakest people,
I have no ancestors that ever had slaves.
Are you walking on stolen land at this moment?
No.
You're not walking on stolen land.
Are you?
I was brought here as a slave. How can I walk on stolen land if I'm the stolen property? I'm the object that was stolen. So, wait, hold up.
Sorry, but
What?
You appear to have some
What I have?
non-African ancestry.
So you're telling me the way I look, you're judging me by the way I look? I look like I'm not African.
No. I'm just asking if you have other ancestry.
But I am an Israelite, and the Africans are going to get paid back for what they done to us, just like you are. Right. So you can't say that. What about the Africans? Because you need to worry about your judgment, not the Africans' judgment, because they're going to get paid back. What?
Do you know what's going on in Israel right now?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The Israelis, right? They call themselves the Israelis, right? They're not the real Jews of the Bible. Those are imposters. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelations 2, verse 9.
Watch this.
And I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So
those people in the land are the chief house of Satan.
I've heard of that.
You agree?
Oh yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah,
They're gonna get theirs too. Those Israelis over there, that's gonna be the first slaughter when when Christ comes back. So do you believe in God's judgment though, sir? Like, is it just?
I'm not taking it. And I don't know. I don't know.
You don't believe because...
I believe that I'm guilty for something that some other people did that I have no relationship with.
But we have to suffer for our ancestors, and we wasn't there.
We don't have to suffer this way.
We suffer right now. Who live in the ghettos in America?
White people and black people.
Where's the white ghetto at in Houston?
Well, most of I don't know if there's one in Houston, but I know in like Appalachia there's lots of people. Like,
You heard of Acres Home? You know what Acres Home is? Sunnyside, Third Ward. You know all of these places? What people? There's are people there. They're on drugs, streaking, just sitting on the corners all day long. That's judgment.
suffering. I mean, there's a lot of white people who are on meth.
Who? Meth? What, okay. They did it. You guys done it to yourselves. You white people have who makes meth? Jews? Okay, so they're not white. What is Jews? What are
They
Jews?
hate us too. They hate you.
Your tribal members hate each other, right?
It's not our
The only reason why y'all hate the Jews is because they don't let y'all get into their riches. That's what it is.
There's plenty of collaborators.
That's why the white men in America hate Jews, because they don't let y'all get in. They keep their riches amongst each other.
I'm among a minority, believe me.
What's your ethnic background?
German and Italian.
German, okay. You must really hate them then. Yeah, you German. You yeah. We already know.
I see what they're doing, and I don't like it. I don't like what they did to you guys either. I didn't like that they brought you here.
They-
you know,
they,
you know who owned the slave ships?
Yeah, the Jews they got the boats. They're the one who put in for the boats. So,
Right.
but look,
And most of the slave owners were Jewish.
okay.
Most of the slave owners
There were all of the Caucasians. They were all of them.
There were some
The Germans, Spaniards, French, especially the Spaniards. They took they right to this day.
The Muslims took lots of European slaves too.
Which ones? Which ones?
Caliphate, the Ottomans. Ottoman Empire.
Okay, okay, so
Suffering is not unique to you guys or to us, but we do have a common enemy.
listen to me.
That
So
these are people that hate both of us.
so are you saying that if it happened to you, you wouldn't want judgment for it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So why-
I would say if I was enslaved and I suffered, and I feel like I am enslaved to some degree, and even though I am able to walk around freely, we
Okay.
still are being subjected to a lot of it.
So why shouldn't God judge your people for what they have done then?
Because they're not my people.
What do you mean? Your ancestors are not your people? No, okay, like you keep on saying the Jews, but the Germans had a hand in it also. The Germans, the Polands, the French, y'all all did it. I don't understand why you trying to separate yourself. No, like you guys, right? Y'all came together as a collective group of people, and y'all came to this continent, right? And you guys all had slaves here. Y'all brought the slaves here in America. Yeah, y'all had slaves here in America. Y'all had the plantations.
Well, again, if you look at the reality of the situation, look at who owned the slave ships, look at who owned most of the slaves. And I'm not saying there's any white people that didn't, but there are also black people that owned slaves here in the U.S. So look at it.
You want to get on? Yeah. Hold on.
What's your name, sir?
Turn it back on.
What's your name, sir? John. All right, my name's John, man. I heard some of your points, and I wouldn't disagree. All right, but what you're talking about is roles within a criminal enterprise, and you're trying to say, well, they played a larger role and they benefited more, so I'm exonerated. That's what it sounds like to me. It almost sounds like, hey, I'm the person that, do you believe in human trafficking? Do you believe human trafficking is okay? As it stands by today's constitutional and international laws, do you believe it's okay?
Sex slavery or any of that?
Yeah, because I can't hear you.
No, I do not. I don't believe. Where? I don't believe in it. Can you hear me? No, I do not believe in slavery.
You don't believe in slavery?
No.
Okay, so at what point in time did the standard of punishment for trafficking humans morally change? You're saying it's not okay now, And you're saying that it's not okay now by what standard? Because it's illegal, or
Oh no, I believe
because
it's not
immoral?
okay. I believe it's. I believe it's
Do you believe
immoral.
it's wrong because it's illegal, or do you believe it's wrong because it's immoral?
I believe it's immoral.
You believe it's immoral.
Yeah.
So was it immoral when our ancestors, the people in whom we originate from, who we descend from, were taken and brought to the many places, taken from the many places and brought to the many places in which they were enslaved? Do you believe that was?
If I had
okay?
been alive at the time, I would have said that was immoral. Yeah.
You would have said that was immoral at the time, even then.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's not okay today. It's not okay yesterday.
All right. So what the brother was simply saying to you is that there is a receipt, a dossier of balances that are left unpaid, and what's going to happen, whether you believe it or not. Listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this, right? Right, what we have now in the geopolitical sphere going on is that most Western countries, to include America, are losing their power and influence all across the globe. Do you know why these people feel like this?
Do I know why?
Do you know why these people feel as if they need to break off the yoke of Western influence?
There's a lot going on geopolitically. There's been a lot going on in the U.S. and in Western countries. It's a lot more than just. It's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack there. It's not just that easy, that simple. I mean,
It's very, listen, if I believe that robbery is wrong, that a man working hard for a thing, right? Something that is his, and then someone comes along and says, hey, I would really like to benefit from that. And the man says, I can sell it to you, right? Or you can work with me and I'll split it up with you. And they agree. And then once they work and they toil and they till the ground and they learn and earn the riches of the earth together, and then the man who came along, the man who had nothing to do with it other than being invited in and welcomed in, then kills the man whose property it actually is. At what point in time does that become okay? That's what I'm trying to understand. You're saying there's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot of. We're talking about the receipts. There's a hell of a lot of receipts that go way, way back in time. And if we want to settle all the scores that happened from all throughout history, we're going to have a very, very bad time in this world for a very long time.
There is a very, very.
I'm just saying.
Listen,
like,
John. Listen. I agree.
Okay.
100%. I agree.
Wasn't the Bible all the God of the Bible?
Wait. Before you ask your question, I want to validate what you just said. Can I validate what you just said?
Okay.
All right.
This is the book, the second Ezra, chapter 5, verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the lad, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
He said, this is the Most High God speaking to a man. He says, I liken my judgment, the balancing, right? So receipts are piled up, and the balancing is the payment of those receipts. He says, I liken my judgment unto a ring. You know what that means in modern terms? What goes around comes around. Listen, what goes around comes around. There is no empire on the earth that has ever risen in the way that it is risen, in the way empires have risen all throughout the annals of time and not have fallen by the same mechanism. War, death, destruction, catastrophe. Do you understand what I'm saying, John? And what the brother was trying to simply point out to you is that there is a universal power in which this book recognizes as the creator of the universe that has established a judgment system to where if something is done, irregardless of whether John had nothing to directly do with it, but John indirectly benefits from it, that John and his people are going to have to pay, just like the people in the book together had to pay for what their ancestors did. This entire book is literally about a creator, a God, dealing with a group of people and judging them based off of the receipts that they've accumulated over a time period, and then judging them for it.
Well, that's your interpretation.
Listen,
and
John.
There's a lot of interpretations of this book.
Yeah, go ahead.
And there's a lot of people that say a lot of different things about
This is
it.
the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. For
Listen.
the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Book.
I'm not in.
Do you know who wrote this
John,
book? Do you know who
John,
wrote it? Why do you believe this? Why do you believe it?
A myriad of people.
Why do you even believe
Do
this?
you know that there are people in the world
do you
called?
believe this?
Why do I believe in it?
Yes.
Because it's true.
Why?
How can you validate truth? You want to get into a philosophical or method?
All I'm saying
a
is
methodology.
that this book was written. Do you know when it was written?
Well, there is no when it was written. What do you?
Thousands and thousands of years ago, right?
No.
No?
No.
It's not written thousands of years ago.
No. Parts of this book were only written less than 2,000 years ago.
Parts of it, like you're talking about New Testament.
Many of these books were written by many different people over a period of time.
Okay.
Listen.
Thousands of years.
Listen to what I'm saying, John. These people simply were recording what was happening around them in their time. It is a group. It is the perspective of a group of people recording the things that are transpiring to them and around them over periods of time. That doesn't listen, John. That doesn't disinvalidate the Bible, because that's how that is how every historical event, John, that is how every historical event is recorded. You know what validates historical events? Archaeology. There are people that do not even believe in God who are biblical scholars who will tell you at the very least it is an accurate historical document. This is not to even be, like I said, man, this is not even to be argued. I'm not here to argue with, I'm just telling you, when you walk around and you make absolute statements like, why do you believe this book?
I'm not saying why would you? Question.
I know it's a very dismissive.
I understand now.
It's a very dismissive question. It's a very dismissive question because you've already stated when I walked up here that you have no belief in the God of this book. And I'm pointing to you simply that there are people that share the same sentiment and can at least acknowledge the validity of the historicity of the book.
Okay. I am aware of people that are like that, yes.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 20. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
I'm gonna let you no prophecy of the scripture is up to any private interpretation. No one is sitting around and going, this is what I say is going to happen, so therefore it's true. There are things that, you know what a prophecy is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there are things that are said in this book that are said in it is not a general thing, they're said in great detail. They're outlined in great detail, and then the things happen. They happen in the detail they were described in, and they also happen in the order that they were described in happening in.
According to the book itself, yes. The book validates itself.
Listen, how can a book, listen, you know what's so funny about that statement? The book validates itself.
Well,
there is no other book on the earth that has done this. Listen, John, name one. Name one other book that has said something would happen repetitiously over time, and then you can look in archaeological facts and discover these things. I wait.
There's lots of books like that.
Which ones?
Lots of historic
Name
books.
them.
I mean, look at any of the Roman history.
The,
I mean, they wrote
Roman
lots of histories.
Roman histories record what they're observing happening. A prophecy, which you said you understood, is something that happens, that is said before it happens, and then it happens after that. Oftentimes, many years.
The problem I have with prophecy is that it can be interpreted in many different ways, and then something can happen, and people can say, "Oh, like, you know, there's people who say that Revelations already happened. There's people who say that Revelation."
No one of any repute, no one of any repute and knowledge of the Bible. Listen, of the book of Revelations. Listen, what I'm telling you, John. Yet again, there are people on this earth who study the Bible who do not believe in the God of the Bible. They believe that there is no God, or that there is no way to prove that there's a God. And listen, the vast majority of theologians, rather, the vast majority of biblical scholars do not actually believe in God. What they believe in, many of them have set out on their careers to disinvalidate the book, but they can't. You know why they can't? Because the more they dig and the more they try, the more they find that the book is true. The more they find that the book is accurate. So matter of fact, give me Revelations 18. I don't want you to finish it. Give me Revelation 18.
2 Peter 2, chapter 1, verse 21. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit.
So ultimately, the people in which you're talking to, us, right? And the people in which the Bible was even written for, believed in this God. This God guided them and gave them a way to see into their past, a way to control the destiny of their present, and a way to determine and decide which side they wanted to be on in their future. Ultimately, John, it really doesn't matter what you think and how you feel. It really doesn't matter what I think and how I feel. What it matters is that God's judgment actually takes place in the earth. And I really, would you have? Yeah, hey, listen. No, John.
I believe your thoughts and your feelings do not.
John, I know, John, listen. John, listen.
Why do you keep saying?
Because I believe I believe you're thinking that I'm not. I believe that you believe that I need for you to validate how I feel. I don't give a shit. I don't act. No, listen. I'm so see, and this is why I'm telling you. You said likewise, right? You came up here. I just told you. See, I'm being honest, John. I'm being No, you're not being forthcoming, John. No, you're not. Watch. What? Listen, John. I listen very carefully. And I have great comprehension. And I know that my God has told me about your people, and that you have a forked tongue, that you speak like a serpent. Right. That means you will say one thing and then say another, and they will be completely contradictory. You will say one thing and you will behave the exact opposite way, which is duplicitous. It is evil. Listen, John, what you just said is that I really care about your feelings. I want you to know, but then I said to you that I don't give a damn if you care about my feelings. And then you just said, oh, I don't give a damn either. How can these two things be true?
I'm not about me.
John, you're a liar. John, you're lying. You got caught lying.
No, I did not.
John, you just told me you didn't give a damn, agreeing with me saying I didn't give a damn.
What you think about me, it does not matter to me. What you think about this stuff and what you feel about this stuff, that matters to me. I'm interested to know why you believe what you believe, and if there's some way that we can make sense of what's going on in this world that doesn't involve consulting a book that has many interpretations.
Okay, John, how about this? Watch this, John. Watch this. Are you familiar with the Roman Empire? The history of the Roman Empire? Generally.
Yes.
Do you realize that at one point in time it controlled the entire known, it had influence and control over the entire known earth? Did you? Are you aware? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that it controlled the Levant, much of northern Africa, and I mean the vast swath of Europe, right? So the entire the best parts of the the best parts of the earth, all the way up to Great Britain, and even potentially extending beyond that, right? With trade, maybe they didn't physically control it, but their trade routes and things like that, right? So what I'm pointing out to you is, let's have a historical exchange here. What we're simply pointing out to you is that people in this place live in a place that is just like any other empire that has come before it. At some point in time, this empire was an infant, and then it matured. And then once it reached its apex, it started to decline. What we're telling you now is that we're on the downward spiral, and we're on the downslide of this thing. People think that Trump is going to renew this place and make America great again. Listen, the last time America was great was when we were in chains.
That's right. He knows.
That's when you were the richest nation on the earth.
Full power.
Full power, full control of your destiny. John, you could have came here.
After World War II.
You could have. I would agree. I would say, listen. I would say from when my ancestors were in chains all the way up to World War II. No, listen. What I'm saying is the time period in which America was its greatest was from the time period of the American slave trade, and then World War, shortly after World War II. Because after that, everyone else.
In terms of power and influence, I believe it was distinctly after the end of the World War II.
Sure.
Because America was
Because you know what made them you know what made them the sole superpower? Hiroshima and Nagasaki slaughtering millions of people with 2 bombs in front of the eyes of the world. That's what made them a superpower.
I hate that.
Do you understand that?
I am not in favor of it at all.
Listen, you have to be in favor of it. But do you want America to be great?
That's not. Oh, in my.
Do you want America to be great?
That is not
No.
great.
Do you want America, John?
That's not great.
Yes or no? Do you want America to be great? That is the only time that any nation on the earth is ever great, is when it has pure, complete, destructive power over all of its enemies. That's why the Roman Empire was the greatest empire during its time, when it has complete and total destructive power over its enemies. And what we're telling you,
I have
John,
a very different definition of
I
greatness.
understand you do, because you believe that feelings are valid when it comes to reality. And I'm telling you, feelings are not valid when it comes to exercising power in a diplomatic or a tactical or strategic method across the earth. So what we're pointing out to you, John, is that our God deals with nations, building them up, sustaining them, and then destroying them. And what we're clearly coming out here to tell you, to what end? To show his own. Give me Romans. Hold that. Give me Romans 9. Give me Romans 9. To what end? That is a beautiful and wonderful question. Give me Romans 9 and
Okay.
read. Let's give him context. Let's give him context. Give him the potter, right, over the clay.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 21. Start at verse 20. Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against God?
Who are you to ask God why he would do something? Why wouldn't you do it like this? Why would you do it like that? How could you possibly do this to us?
Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
If I ask my daughter or tell my daughter she cannot have cake before dinner, and if I decide to eat cake before dinner, can she then go, how dare you, Father? Why would you tell me I can't have cake and you're eating cake right in front of me?
Hath not the potter power over the clay?
I have authority over you.
Of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor.
So in this context, God is saying, I have the ability to make one thing made to be destroyed, and I can make another thing out of the same lump of clay to be something to be revered and honored.
So in other words, it's because I say so.
Exactly.
So
It says, what
Hold on.
if God, willing to shew his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?
He made a thing to be destroyed. He let it exist. He allowed it to be ugly in his sight. He allowed it to inhabit the realm of reality and exist. And then he decides to do what with it?
Khan, it says, yeah, again.
Yeah, read it again.
Khan, it says, what if God, willing to shew his wrath, to make his power known?
To make his power known. He waited and he showed people, this is how you deal with an ugly thing in the world. You deal with it patiently. You allow it to exist, hopefully to change, right? You allow it to be transformed. You allow it the opportunity to be transformed. But something has to happen if it does not.
Endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction.
This thing has to be destroyed.
That's right.
It is a vessel of wrath. Not only is it a vessel that I'm going to bestow my wrath upon, but it has been a vessel. You know what a vessel is? It is something that holds something. It transports something. It says that this vessel is purely for wrath. Like wrath is only in it. And what we're saying is the white man who we know as the so-called white man on this earth has gone to every continent, every people group across the face of the known earth, right? Even possibly to space and mess with the aliens, right? And you have stolen, you have lied, and you have murdered.
Right.
And you have to pay.
Using right now to insult me. Do you know who created that technology?
Who created what technology?
This technology you're using right now to insult me.
Well, I know the technology. I know who created
All of this stuff.
I know who created the minds.
All of your hate.
I know who created the John, you know what's so funny, John? When you people get read your rights, look, the wicked flee when no man pursueth.
1, 2, 3, action.
We're the sons of the prophets. We're the sons of the prophets. Thank you for watching. We are the sons of the prophets. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, please like, share, subscribe. All right. And more importantly, give all praises to the Most High, man. We waking up. Kwame Asharala.